Yo, of course, we start with the Rocky theme song to boost our energy and motivation for the podcast. The story of Rocky Balboa inspires us to persevere through our own struggles, much like the down and out athlete he was. He doubted everything, his worthiness and abilities, and he came through with complete transformation with his self-doubt and self-discrimination to ultimately dedicate himself to proper coaching, rigorous training, and ultimately becoming the true champion that he is and he was, and you are too. Boom. And trust me, we're all mental fitness athletes. You might not know it, but you are, and we're here to emphasize that. Just like any physical fitness, you're either active or you're inactive. Through the Free Zone podcast, we will guide you to become an active mental fitness athlete and realize your potential to be a true champion. By living with personal freedom, you can achieve peaceful success in every area of your life. I'm talking about mental, emotional, and physical. You're a true champion, trust me, and so am I. I'm living proof. Replacing suppressive societal inaccuracies with ancient truths. Bam! Whoa! That was a mouthful, but you know what? It's totally true. We are all mental fitness athletes because we all think thoughts. Therefore, it's true. I want to introduce both my compadres. Mark, what's up?
What's going on, Scott?
Yo, what's up, Andres?
We're here.
Yes. And, here we are, ancient truths. We're always going to go over the ancient truths because the fact of the matter is, if you're practicing anything that you're swapping for an old pattern, you have to practice them all the time. We give a shit, right? So the first thing is these ancient truths that we're going to swap out for society's ignorance. Society's ignorance is that we don't matter, that we're separate, that we have to achieve something for self-worth. It's not true. What is true, the ancient truth, right? It's that old, it's that true, is that we matter because we were born. And if everyone matters because they were born, then everyone is equal. Bam! The Free Zone Practice Plan, running mental plays through our minds, thinking new thoughts, setting new mental patterns, fighting off doubt, insecurity, being a trouble to yourself and others, societal competition, yuck, and anxiety. Life is one big scrimmage game. Get out there and practice. You gotta practice. If anyone was ever good at anything, they got that way because they practiced. Boom. That's right. So we're going to practice these ancient truths. It's really that simple. Some people say, oh, God, Scott, you again, you're like a broken record. And I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm not a broken record. I'm an ongoing record. And that's what we got to be. Instead of having these negative ongoing record conversations with ourselves that are like about inferiority or not good enough, dudes, everybody knows what that's like. We're here to be an ongoing record of the ancient truths that we just want you to practice. And the reason why we want you to practice is because we want you to be good at it. So the first practice is that I matter. I want you to say that all the time. When you're around, hanging out, doing whatever you're doing during your day, and possibly when doubt comes to your mind, I want you to force that doubt out by saying to yourself, I matter, I'm equal, because I was born. I actually want you to see everybody as like a baby. If you look at everybody like a baby, you'll basically bring yourself right down to the core and you're like, yeah, we were all babies. We were all born. Doesn't matter what someone has or doesn't have. We're all equal. And that's the practice plan. You got to practice to get good at it. If you were a right-hander and you wanted to be a left-hander, you'd have to practice every day, all day long to be a lefty. And then guess what? You'd be a lefty.
It happens.
It happens through practice. Mark knows about it. Go ahead. What do you think, Mark?
Practicing what we preach, and every day in the Free Zone is a chance to practice all of these principles. And something lately that's been on my mind and something that I've gotten some extra reps in is practicing patience.
Exactly.
And
Well, hold on. That's the third section we're gonna go into, which is things that make you go home. But the truth is, he's right. You gotta practice things. What do you think, Andre?
I mean, everything that I've done in my life kind of required a lot of practice, starting with music. You know, you hear a song and then you try to play it and you wonder, why doesn't it sound? And you can actually tell that it's not perfect because it sounds differently, right? And then every day, the beautiful thing about music is that every day you get a little bit closer and it sounds cleaner until there's this kind of like wall that is taken down and it sounds like music, right? But the only way to reach that point where it sounds like music is just practice, because otherwise it doesn't sound like anything. You have a drummer that's just beating on it, a guitarist that's just plugging the strings. That there's no name for that. Noise, sound.
Just
maybe.
noise.
But music can only happen when there's that synchronicity between you and practice and consistency and repetition. And it's like it's a lifestyle. It's a mentality. It's not only an adjective.
And
It's bigger
speaking
than that.
of ongoing records, I think there's a overlap there. Music, records. Scott's talking about being a positive one, and you just know when things are flowing as they should. That's it.
Yeah, of course. And we want to flow as we should.
Or
And
should I say glide? Because we glide in the
Glide or
freezone.
flow,
We're going
man.
back to
or flow.
glide.
But here's the thing: as we should is a key word. Like, we were born to be free. Like, somehow down the line, everybody got tripped up with this like secret competition about worthiness or self-worth or mattering, and it's just not true, so we got to get back to the truth, where the ancient truth speaks loud, and the only way we can do that is through practice. So it's not like, oh God, here they go again, Scott, please. It's like, yo, listen, love yourself, care about yourself, admit to yourself or whoever you want that, like, you've been thinking wrong, because you do matter and you are equal, and there's no competition, and therefore there's no anxiety. There's no inferiority complex. You can be happy for people's success. You could be happy for your own success and own it. You don't have to be shy about it. I'm not talking about being arrogant, but I'm talking about, hey, dude, if you're good at music, then you're good at music. It doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It's not about self-worth, because self-worth has nothing to do with playing music. Music is a talent. Art is a talent. You hone your talent, you get good at it, and if you're good at it, you admit that you're good at it, because who the fuck cares when it's all said and done? It's good that you're good at something. You know what I mean? Like,
And I like the fact that you brought up talent, because I have a lot of friends that talk about this specific thing. A lot of us are born with a talent, and we can pick up a guitar and kind of like do it, and we can pick up a piano and do it. But there's certain people that, even though they started well or not, they practice for 10 years. And all of a sudden they post a video on Instagram playing guitar, and they're better than 10 years before. The practice completely went differently, and now these people are recording. And they were maybe not the most talented in the beginning, but practice completely changed the outcome of whatever we called talent,
Well, and the truth of the matter, talent or no talent, medium talent, whatever, the fact is, practice you get good at. If anyone was ever good at anything, Tiger Woods, Andre Agassi, these are my generation, they're only good because they practiced.
They're talented at practicing.
Yeah, of course. You got to get your practice in, and that's why the second segment is always about practice. Like, get out there and practice. Look at people. I want you to practice looking at people as equals, and if you need to, look at them as babies, not as like someone with a Ferrari or the boss, like anything that could like make you shy or seem separate. Like, there's no separation. We're all just people doing our own thing at our own time. Embrace it, and especially embrace you. Boom. Ponder this. Food for thought. Things that make you go This is where we're going to run new plays through our minds with new philosophies and new ancient truths. Things that make you go So, you're in the free zone because you matter. Maintaining life in the free zone with personal freedom in a glide, you have to live like you matter. That's how you think, decide, and act in a healthy, mature way. So each podcast, we're going to go over the ancient truths, we're going to go over the practice plans, and then we're going to hit you up with something new. And Mark's got something new. He's the one who was like, oh, I think I got something for an episode. I'm like, sure, man, whatever. It's your call. It's our call, and it's his call now. So, Mark, what you got?
Man, just to keep up this theme of practicing, something I've been practicing a lot lately is patience, and realizing that when you're practicing patience, every chance is an opportunity for growth. And really kind of leading up into this I don't know, reflective state of mind, I kind of realized, just thought patience was just waiting, but it's actually how you're waiting and how you behave while you're waiting. And there's never going to be a shortage of, life throwing its things, in your face, that you're going to have to kind of apply some of that. So I'm sure we got all the endless stories, the annoying drivers on the road, the traffic, whatever it may be. I guess I like how I referenced cars, and last week we had a wonderful car analogy as well. So
Well, yeah, I mean, practice. Like, if you get good, this is what I say to myself, dude, if you're good at practice, you are like smooth. Because the truth is, like, we do always have to practice being patient. And if you're patient, like you said, it's an opportunity to learn. You stay open. Think about it. When you're impatient or frustrated or annoyed or whatever it is that impatience brings on, you're not open. You're not you don't have the opportunity, like you said, to like learn things. You're stuck. So we really want, it's kind of twofold. When you live in the free zone, you live with harmony, personal freedom. So you have to practice ways, new ways. It's always about these new layers of cool things to like approach life at, to prove that you matter, right? And running a mental fitness play. And one of those mental fitness plays is patience, to be open to learn more and always have an opportunity for growth. So you're right. And I completely agree. When we're patient, we're open up, we're not frustrated. I mean, like, seriously, a lot of the things that I get impatient about, like what I'm saving 5 minutes max, like 2 minutes max. And I can also say this, if you have a pretty good level of faith and trust in the process, like we've all heard, like, trust the process. Like, the process, trust the process is things always work out. Things are always working out. But if you're not trusting that process, then you get impatient. So one of the ways to like really get into being patient is to be like, yo, it's cool that there's a stumbling block. I'm going to do my best next right thing to, jump over it, get through it, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to do it while being patient, because in the process of, moving down the field of life as a mental fitness athlete, you want to do it with patience and a glide. There's that glide again.
yeah, like you just end up bringing a lot of unnecessary energy to things,
Yeah.
that just ultimately harms you and takes you further away from these.
Yeah, the other day I was talking to somebody who follows kind of like a similar lifestyle, and she said, um, infinite patience produces immediate results, right? And what she said is that when you're patient and you make the decision when you're supposed to make that decision, you make the right decision. You get the result immediately. But when you're impatient, you're expecting these results and you're getting some results, a result, but it's not truly what you want. And it's kind of what you were talking about. It's kind of, you have to make the right decision. You have to wait. You have to really live.
And I think that comes with faith, and that was a point that I was going to reiterate. That just having faith with, trusting the process, or
trusting
things
the
are moving
process.
at the pace that they're supposed to, and these expectations that you have on whatever is going on in front of you, maybe is not as wound up in, like, I guess, pressing as you often feel. So it's pretty easy to let that get watered down and further just add to that weight on your shoulders.
Oh yeah, you just make things worse. I'm like, I'm not making things worse in my own hand. I'm gonna make things better at my own hand. I was talking to a buddy the other day, and he was talking about making poor decisions, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at making good decisions because I've been practicing good decisions for a long time. But I was saying, listen, but man, it takes the same effort to make a poor decision as it makes to make a good decision, right? So just the mechanics of a decision, it's the same effort. But the one effort, a good decision, a decision to have patience, a decision to trust the process, right? And these are all mental fitness plays. You have to say to yourself, I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to have patience, or you're not going to. You have to give yourself that message through a decision, right? A decision is actually an action. So if you make a decision to be patient or to trust the process, it's the same effort as not as not having patience and not trusting the process, but the ripple effect of the poor decision has consequences that are dark and negative and like
And
not cool.
snowball quick and hit you
It's
Yeah.
a lot harder than they would have if it would have been taken care of. From the
It's
ground
actually
up.
so funny that you guys bring this up. If anybody listening grew up in South America, there's a saying that we have that says el flojo trabaja doble, and it means a lazy person works twice as hard,
Bingo.
right? And I have this story as a kid. My grandpa tells me, "Hey, I have this bucket of fish, and I need you to put it on this other bucket with clean water, right? So you need to go fish by fish, find them, and then just put it in the other one, fill up the water." I was impatient, right? I just started like grabbing it quick, whatever. And now when he comes back, there's 2 buckets of dirty water. So now he says, "All right, now we need to do 4."
Right.
I ended up being there for 2.5 hours as a kid just because, I wasn't patient enough the first time to do
Yeah.
it right. And now I'm doing 4 times as much as I was supposed to,
Yup.
right? And he's like, lazy person works twice as hard,
Yup.
but not for the right
i.e.
reasons.
the negative ripple effect
Yep.
of not being patient and not trusting the process. And again, it's just a decision. Like my thing is like, shit, if I'm going to make a decision, I'm going to make a decision that it benefits me, not the opposite where it, harms
No.
me or depletes me or whatever they want to call it.
Especially important to keep that in mind. And I think in today's world where a lot of things are instant and we all have those things that almost immediate that we expect, and like I'm guilty of, if an app don't load on my phone right away, I'm closing it, open it back up. I'm just the now. So
Oh, it's amazing.
we are being set up to have to really challenge ourselves here. And
that's totally cool. Catch yourself in the middle. Like I catch myself in the middle, like being annoyed at something not downloading right. I'm like, dude, Scott, you're like talking about seconds. Like seconds
Literally.
are not a fucking problem. So you catch yourself, you intercept it, and you redirect with a free zone mental fitness thought, which is just, dude, have patience. Dude, trust the process. And that's all it takes. So this is our our things that make you go section. We want you all to take on practicing patience because you matter. When you live in the free zone, you live in the free zone because you matter. You maintain life in the free zone by living like you matter. When you live like you matter, you think, decide, and act in healthy, mature ways. And damn sure having patience is a healthy, mature way that will keep you in the free zone. Bam! And now for the bonus round. We're giving you extra innings. We're putting more time on the clock because we care. Okay, more time on the clock. That's so funny. I love it. Obviously, I grew up playing sports.
I'm hitting a little 7th inning stretch right now over here.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so here's your homework assignment. Here's our little extra innings. When you see someone that you think and intuitively or just mentally, whatever, or maybe both, that they're getting ignored, smile at them. Just give them a smile. When you live in the free zone and you maintain life with personal freedom, you're kind to people. Now, I'm not telling you to put yourself in danger of someone who's odd looking and maybe a little sketchy. You maybe not want to open up yourself to like connecting. But if they're not, and you're not sensing any of that, by damn sure, be kind to them, especially if you think they're being ignored. And a smile and an acknowledgement, human to human, equal to equal. There's no separation. Bring them in, smile at them, let them know through your smile and your interaction and your effort that they matter. And you'll feel good about it. That's the whole thing. The extra innings, the homework assignment is ways to feel good about yourself and help others do the same. But boom!
Free zone out.